Namaste. My name is Ashwati, and today I will talk to you a little bit about Yogasana and Pranayama, which are two of the limbs in Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. So, Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras says Sthiram Sukham Asanam, meaning a posture. In this context, a yogic posture or asana is that which is stable, sthiram, and which is comfortable, sukham. If we can maintain any yoga posture comfortably for an extended period of time, then it enables us to transcend the physical body, meaning that the physical body does not become a barrier anymore in our journey towards the within. When Patanjali described asanas and pranayama, the intention was that a practitioner of yoga could perform physical postures and pranayama so that he can move beyond the body and breath. Only when we can move beyond the body and breath can we begin to understand our mind, our emotions, and our intellect, or engage in dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So, the body and breath are steps on a ladder. Our practice should never be limited to only the body or only the breath. That said, let us explore asanas and pranayama so that we understand both these concepts in the right context. As we know, asanas can be of four types, or yogasanas are usually of four types. There are standing postures, there are sitting postures, there are prone postures, and there are supine postures. Surya Namaskars are a combination of asanas that are performed in worship of the sun. As we know, Surya is a source of energy for all of us. Therefore, surrendering to the sun has deep philosophical meaning. We are offering ourselves to the primary source of energy in this world, and that which sustains and nourishes us. On a physical level, Surya Namaskars are supremely beneficial because they activate all our body parts and all our muscles. It's like a complete workout. Doing Surya Namaskars every day infuses us with positive energy, reduces restlessness, anxiety, and stress, and makes us peaceful. If we are able to commit ourselves to a few Surya Namaskars every day, we will be able to see a drastic difference in the way our body and mind functions. There are many other postures, and each one of them come with unique benefits for the body. When the body benefits, the breath and the mind also benefit. Our rishis have said that all the yoga that we do is essentially to calm the mind and to remove the incessant chattering of the mind. And they provided us with many options. If we can control and regulate our breathing, it automatically impacts the mind. Same way, if we can control our body or guide it to become peaceful through a posture, it calms down the mind as well. One of my favorite postures is the simple Ardhakati Chakrasana or the half moon posture. It is something that I learned as a young school going student. I have noticed that while I am a trained yoga teacher and have learned numerous yogasanas, there are a few postures that I have an inclination towards. Or there may be certain days where I listen to what my body wants and I move towards specific postures. Ardhakati Chakrasana is one of my all time favorites. All I have to do is stand straight, lift my hand up, and turn my body to one side. This posture is immensely beneficial for giving flexibility to the spine and in activating the liver. Our liver, as we know, is responsible for detoxification of the body. And our ancient rishis found a very simple way through this posture to keep our body strong and healthy. Most young students, when asked about their favorite posture, will say Shavasana. Shavasana is one of my favorites too. It literally means the posture of the dead. The significance of this asana is that it helps us relax our body at a cellular level. And while we let go and relax at the bodily level, we in turn learn to let go at the mind level. Especially for those who are a bit hyperactive or prone to anxiety, this posture is extremely beneficial. Especially useful is if you do some rigorous exercise or Surya Namaskars and then do Shavasana. It helps bring a deeper relaxation to our being. Like this, there are many asanas which have specific benefits for our spine, our heart, our lungs, stomach, knees, back, and so on. But the key purpose of any asana is to ensure that we can stay in it long enough so that we can learn to see beyond our body. Why is this concept so significant? That's because even though this body is something that we gathered at birth and will have to shed when we die, most of our life is spent consciously or unconsciously believing that we are the body. All our attachments in this world arise because we are so attached to our body. Our relationships and identities also arise from the feeling that we are the body. And this identification can cause us to have certain tunnel vision when it comes to life. We start creating divisions within our mind. This is my body, this is my house, this is my friend, this is my job, this is my family, versus this is not my friend. They are strangers. Another person's success is not mine, and therefore I cannot rejoice at that. And of course, the divisions at the body and mind level leads to stress and in extreme cases fear. It prevents us from being truly at ease in this world. If we translate this to how our body and breath functions, we will notice that our body becomes more rigid and our breathing becomes more shallow. If you observe children, you will notice how totally relaxed they are at the body level. You will also notice that they breathe primarily from their stomach, meaning their breath is full and complete. But as we grow older, we lose our flexibility, our slow paced breathing, and with it, our ability to totally stay in the present moment. So, everything Patanjali, as well as the other rishis of ancient and modern times, have tried to tell us is that use yogasanas and pranayama to help you become at ease within yourself. Sometimes it is difficult to understand deep philosophical concepts and bring them to everyday experience. If someone tells you this entire world is one, it is difficult, for us to understand it, or it's of little use to us if it is not really experiential. Asanas and pranayama are like the cheat sheets to experience these truths. Through holding a posture or doing a pranayama, we can make some of these statements an experience for us. And anyone can do it, whether you understand the science behind it or not. All you have to do is make it a consistent effort. 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day can even be sufficient. And you can take up any yogic posture that you like. And soon enough, you will start noticing the difference in the way you feel within yourself. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you will make yoga an integral part of your daily life.